What's going on, Scorpio? And welcome to my channel, Alchemist. Justin here, and I hope you're having a wonderful week so far. So for those of you who are returning, welcome back, Soul Tribe. I appreciate your subscriptions, your likes, and shares. Your support really is just amazing, Scorpio, and it keeps us growing. And for those of you who are new, welcome. I'm happy Higher Self has brought you here. We are in for an amazing journey. So Scorpio, guess what? It's your general energy weekly spread. I know you're so excited. But with this general energy weekly spread, whenever you happen to come across this video, Scorpio, there may be some messages here for you. And just so you're all aware, this is a general reading, not a one-to-one. So take what resonates with you, leave the rest with me, and never force a reading on a situation, okay? So with all that being said, let's jump into it. Your space has been cleansed. Gems, feeling lovely. Just great energy all around here, Scorpio. So Scorpio, with this spread, I'm going to be pulling a few oracle cards, and then we'll be getting some tarot cards to get more details on them. But before we jump into this thing, these readings that I do, they're not gender specific readings, so apply these energies to people as they make sense for your situations, okay? And then the decks that I'm working with, I've included links for them down in the description box below, so definitely check that out if you're interested, Scorpio. Oh, Scorpio. All right, stay calm. We got the third card of Aquarius here, which is the Black Widow card. Now we got eyes on them. With this Black Widow card, this is a card of betrayal, warning, twisted, turncoat, cunning, dangerous, toxic situation or relationship, web of control, entrapment, unexpected attack, insidious, poisonous, and low vibration. You know, Scorpio, when this card comes up, because this card is an interesting card. When we get in situations, whether this could be in a relationship, whether this is like a romantic relationship, a familial one, maybe just a regular friendship, even like co-workers, however this is looking, if we find ourselves or are in some sort of like low vibratory situation and it's been, it's been nothing, but just like wearing down your energy, it's been just kind of, just real toxic, kind of just spreading. This card gives me very kind of like the Thoth deck, kind of Seven of Cups, and that one is like really kind of swampy and just kind of real. Yeah, it's doing a lot. And usually Black Widows are doing a lot. So if we find ourselves in some situations like this, I feel like we want to either start putting up some boundaries, maybe we need to, if this is like a work thing and we can't get this resolved maybe with either like HR or maybe like a boss or anything, maybe putting out some resumes possibly. Whatever these conversations are looking like, we want to be mindful of that. And, Scorpio, not that I would point any fingers or anything, but, we got to talk about it, because sometimes, we all are susceptible to some low vibratory, behaviors every now and again, and it's just to help us grow. And if you find yourselves, maybe spreading a little poison, maybe Mars has been in Cancer, where sure it's affecting Cancerians probably the most, but it's going to affect water signs too. And if you've been feeling a little more aggressive, and Mars is your ruler, one of your rulers, so just something, if we've been, been maybe a little clever with our words, or, been kind of, slinging daggers. Let's just be mindful of that, Scorpio. But, and just really listen to your intuition, when we get, just if something, a situation, a person, anything doesn't feel like, Scorpio, you're very intuitive. Trust that. If something doesn't feel right, I'd say, cunning I feel like it depends on how you interpret, but I feel like cunning for me more so, it's an intelligent type of thing, Scorpio, someone you can't really pull a fast one on them. So, and I feel like that's definitely you, Scorpio. So if there's something that has been, get you kind of weird, feels kind of weird, or anything along those lines, just trust that. And you got that lunar eclipse coming up in your sign too, so your intuition is going to be heightened on the 5th of May. That's coming up this Friday. So trust your intuition always, but really be thinking about that. But let's get some tarot on this. See what these Black Widows are up to. Always webs. All right. see what we got here so far. We got 8 of Wands here. Interesting. So you got 8 of Wands upright, and then you got 4 of Wands in reverse here. And this is interesting, Scorpio, because I really feel like with this energy, just before we hop into any kind of situations, because the 8 of Wands can be very fast energy. You know, things are kind of moving real quick, and if we're in a situation where maybe someone's trying to present you with something, we're like, hey, we got this great opportunity for you, or, you know, and it seems too good to be true. I just feel like with this 4 of Wands, you know, before we go about, you know, maybe starting up something, or even think about, you know, getting something to completion, or, you know, signing any contracts, anything along those lines, let's just make sure that we're not rushing. You know, let's make sure we're checking the fine print. And again, listening to your intuition, making sure that the energies feel right, that you want to, this is something that you really want to do. And you know, really, if someone is presenting you with something, this could even be like well, you know, Scorpio, just use your judgment. But I really feel like that, yeah, just try not to rush into any sort of, like, maybe, I'm thinking like unions just before we've read over everything. You know, just make sure that intentions are clear, that our directions are going the same thing. And I feel like, you know, if everything's looking great, then full steam ahead, Scorpio. But yeah, just something to be mindful of, okay? Okay, let's see what else we got here. Scorpio, got a little stack here. Let's see what we got going on here. Ooh, Ace of Pentacles. I like that. Okay. Interesting. Okay. Interesting. Okay, so you have the, let me tell you why it's so interesting. You got the King of Swords and the 6 of Pentacles in reverse. And then you have the Ace of Pentacles and the 7 of Swords upright. And so, Scorpio, just thinking how we have the Pentacles and we have the Swords here. You know, just being mindful of, with the 6 of Pentacles here, if something, again, doesn't feel right, or if it feels like you've been giving a lot to a situation, and yeah, just something you feel like it's just like taking a lot of your energy, or, you know, it's just like I'm just getting, really, if something doesn't feel right, just really being mindful of the opportunities that are being presented to you. And again, that's not to say that, like, every opportunity that's about to come in is going to be, like, you know, where you need to be up on guard. But, you know, I hope you get what I'm getting at, Scorpio. I just feel like that it's, and you know what, maybe something that to think about too, just thinking with this energy, because I was just like, it doesn't feel like that it's like you don't need to trust anyone, or that you can't trust anyone. But maybe this is something too, Scorpio. Maybe we're just thinking with how this King of Swords is in reverse. Maybe some of us are in this place right now. Maybe I don't know if there's like a sense of doubt or something along those lines with this King of Swords, or something along those lines. But if there's an area in business, relationships, and, you know, however that's looking, if there's something we don't seem to understand, or, you know, or something along those lines, and I really feel like that it's do some research into this, you know, to kind of connect, like, because in this deck, or with the 7 of Swords, he's stealing these swords because he doesn't want to fight with this army. You know, he's trying to de-escalate a situation. And I feel like that if there's something that has got you in odds, you know, that have make you been kind of feeling weird, or, you know, feels like that you're getting in kind of control, or something's getting out of control, then I really feel like, you know, maybe just establishing like a judgment-free zone if this is with a person, and just getting some understandings. And I feel like that if we just kind of sat down, instead of like, because this could be something maybe we've been kind of painting scenarios in our heads, as instead of like maybe talking about this situation, or maybe facing this thing. But I feel like if you know, just face this, Scorpio, and figure out what's going on here, we can start getting some results, some solutions. But yeah, I hope that makes sense. That's some interesting energy that's coming through. But Yeah, if you feel like there hasn't been any sort of like reciprocity in a situation, however this is looking, yeah, definitely I feel like get an understanding on that and how we can get this more harmonious, where this trust can be instilled, or where this toxic situations or any sort of low vibratory things can kind of alleviate this stuff. Because there's I feel like there's relief in that, and not just like, because the Ace of Pentacles can deal with finances, but Pentacles can cover our health, and when we're in stuff like that, that can get us stressed out, get us like where we may not be, because you got to be something to be mindful of too. If we're not facing something, Scorpio, or we have these doubts and we're not, maybe this is a conversation with either a business, a person. It could be nothing, but if you create this dissonance, by not saying anything and just kind of maybe getting stuck in your head, it creates this dissonance, and I feel like unnecessarily. So we could just kind of tackle this stuff and then put it to bed, Scorpio. So yeah, something to think about. All right, let's get some tea and get another oracle on this mix. And Scorpio, just something to think about too. I feel like that if you've maybe been kind of doubting something or anything along those lines, I feel like with your other ruler, Pluto going retrograde later today. About when I'm recording this, it's Pluto will be going direct about 1:30 in the afternoon Central Time. But I do feel like that maybe there's going to be some things that are just revealed to you as well. Maybe just some if there's some inner questions that we've been asking ourselves. Maybe where do we want to give our energy? Where can we find joy, find harmony? How do we get out of this stuff? I feel like that. If that's something you've been thinking about, I feel like that the energy is going to start shifting that way. Interesting. All right, Scorpio. So you got the 9th card of Geminis here. You got a lot. We're racking up air energy here. So I feel like just with your oracle cards, but this is the worry beads cards. Just one card with the worry beads. This is a card of worry, fear, anxiety, irritated, calming, soothing, bored, passing time, upset, unease, needs care, fretful, ritual, repetitive motion, de-escalate, and nervous tick. In Scorpio, if there's something if you've been worried about something, been feeling anxious, afraid, any of these emotions, I feel like really, let's get some eyes on this. Let's get some, and this could be something too, Scorpio, with the 7 of Swords. This can be, to me, this can be a card of almost like lies that we tell ourselves. If there's something that we haven't been willing to face, that we've been maybe putting off or something along those lines. I feel like the sooner that we face this thing, Scorpio, the easier it is that we can figure out what little nugget of wisdom that we were trying, that this situation, whether there's a Black Widow, worry beads, however this is manifesting or might manifest in the future. How do we get some tools from that? How do we get the nuggets of, get King of Swords from this, get some wisdom? But if we have been in a state where you've just been, maybe you've kind of been sort of stuck in your head, and maybe the vibe, maybe the internal dialogue has been a little, just maybe low vibratory as of late. Let's try to get back into a routine of uplifting yourself, maybe telling yourself some positive affirmations, alleviating these worries, having some of these difficult conversations if there's something to have, or just any things that we can do to assuage some of these things. Maybe it's going for a walk to kind of clear your head. Maybe this is reading a book, maybe listening to some music, maybe it's working out, stretching, whatever it is, Scorpio. Just something so that we can just soothe this thing. Just thinking about that passing time. As time goes on and you start dealing with these things are going to start getting better, Scorpio. Ace of Pentacles is going to start coming through because we've started healing. We've started getting out of these states, but we got to start putting some action towards this. But let's get some tarot on that. Interesting. Were we talking about High Priestess? Yeah, if something's got your intuition. Hold on, let me talk about that. Let me set this down for a sec. Because with the High Priestess, This is the moon. Full moon that's happening in your sign. You know, if there's something that's been bothering you, you know, I really feel like that we can't ignore these feelings, Scorpio. I get it that sometimes that facing, you know, facing whether this, however this is manifesting, a toxic situation, whatever's got you feeling, you know, this worry, this lack of security, whatever, it might feel tough in that moment, but you'll navigate through this thing. You know, again, these situations aren't meant to just keep you down, keep you feeling weak, or keep you feeling, you know, not confident. This is to help you to rise up, you know, to get on your throne and to face and then to grow and then to become, because the King of Swords, these situations here, bet he's going to learn from this stuff. This is Gemini energy, and Geminis are all about, you know, they're all about like youthful energy. They absorb information like a sponge, and this is something that, when you think about kids usually learn through lessons, but when you learn through those lessons, man, you become you become a wiser adult, become a wise high priestess. But this is just something that we have to face and know that you're going to get whatever this situation is figured out. There's no situation that's bigger than you. Higher self is not going to throw stuff at you that you can't handle. I know how that may sound, but it's true, Scorpio, because you are incredible. You are power. You're all about Scorpio. I guess it's been a minute since I talked about your transformative school that you started. Now that it's probably an academy now there, Scorpio, because you're all about change. You're all about growth, and these type of energies are to really help you get into the highest vibration of yourself. You know, it may feel kind of low at the moment, but man, when you evolve and grow from this thing, you become so much. You're just so wise. It really does pay off in the long run, Scorpio. And I'm really getting just a strong, you know, just with High Priestess coming out, you know, week of the full moon eclipse, and just going forward, really trust your intuition, you know, and that gut instinct. Listen to where those body signals are trying to guide you, and if something doesn't resonate with you, let's fix this stuff. Let's not just stay in this vibration all the time. You don't need to just stay worried. You can adjust this thing. This gives me very kind of like Eight of Swords type of energy, this worry beads, where we keep ourselves kind of locked in a cage, you know, in our own kind of self-imposed prison. But we can break out of that thing whenever we want, because the nice thing is that we built it, Scorpio. So there's something to think about. All right, look at that. Now we're getting better. Look at that. You got Ace of Cups. All right, see? Trust that intuition. Let's see what else we have. And you know, the Ace of Cups, when you think about that one, right? Because when you think about the Ace of Cups, this is like, the streams that are coming out of here are a representation of your five senses. And that's how I feel like we really tune into the present. You know, when we're in whatever the situation is, when we just allow ourselves to be in the, you know, because this situation could be, you know, low vibration and things, they're kind of sucky. You know, it's not ideal in that moment. But if we just be present in that for a second, you know, and just like, okay, what's going down? Why am I feeling this way? What can I do right now to alleviate this? That's how we take steps towards that. You know, whatever's going down, if we're feeling like maybe I don't know, Scorpio, you just could even feel like maybe this is something that we're going to fail at something. I'm not entirely sure, but if you're just even thinking with that, Scorpio, don't feel like, if you're in like a situation or something, if we need assistance, you know, like a friend, a family member, even like maybe a professional, you know, the Five of Pentacles for me is also, don't be afraid to ask for help, you know, especially if you have those near that want to help you, you know, get back to where you're back on your feet, you know, where we're feeling, you know, Ace of Cups, where things are flowing nice, so, you know, where that water's moving smooth again. So just something to think about. All right, Scorpio. Let's get your last card here. Oh. All right. And look at that, Scorpio. Because that's where, interesting, you know, because you got the 8th card of Virgos here, which is the grapes card. And this is like a complete 180, Scorpio. This is what I'm talking about. This is Ace of Cups and Ace of Pentacles right here, because it's a card of abundance, bearing fruit, harvest, fertility, merriment, prosperity, surplus, fullness, juicy, overindulge, tempting, goodness, plentiful, wealth, and enjoy the fruits of your labor. And Scorpio, I feel like with whatever this, if we're in a situation right now, if we find ourselves in a situation in the future, remembering that it really isn't, it's a matter of our mindset. If we stay in this place of just like, everything sucks, like we're, you in that, just that low vibration, then that's all we're going to keep attracting is low vibrations. It's worry, it's fear, it's all of that. But if we, again, face the situation for what it is, be with the emotions that you're feeling, and instead of getting like, how do I want to put this, and like drowning in them, let them fuel you, because that's what, like, just when we were talking about Mars and Cancer, that's what Mars and Cancer is about. It's about like pushing forward and using those emotions to get you out of this funk, and remembering that, again, this is something that's going to, when you get over this thing, this is going to bring you abundance, whether that's because you're going to get some kind of resources out of this, because you're going to have to do some research, possibly, this is going to be, however this is looking, there's growth that is happening from this, Scorpio. We just have to remember that, and to not let these situations bring you down. And listen, I get that they're tough, whatever this is that you may be facing or might face in the future. But there's always wealth and stuff at the end of the tunnel. There's Ace of Cups, Ace of Pentacles here. I mean, come on, it's all right there. We just gotta be mindful of where our energies are going, and then start making those adjustments. But let's get some tarot on this. Interesting. I like that. Here's one of your rulers, huh? We're just talking about Mars. Must have heard us talking about him, because here's the Tower. But the nice thing is, with the Tower in reverse here, Scorpio, you can change up this situation. If things don't feel right, then let's take some action, because that's what Mars is all about, taking action. And I feel like, and however this is, whether this is a conversation, whether this is maybe putting out resumes, maybe this putting up boundaries, whatever it is. But in order for us to get this abundance, Mars, the Tower, you got to make space for it. We have to make adjustments. We have to start doing things that are going to that are raising that vibration. Listen to that High Priestess, that gut instinct, Ace of Cups, what's going to get you feeling fulfilled, getting you back on track, because that's where we find that, man, all the grapes are going to be there for you. Going to be a whole vineyard there for you, Scorpio. What? And look, thank you, higher self. I love it, Scorpio. More? Of course not, because what more do you need? Because look who came out, the sun. Scorpio, that was beautiful. Let's switch back over. I hope you saw that. Scorpio, this was a wonderful story, and this is what I mean. It might have started out crappy. We started out with somehow a Black Widow got in our apartment, and and it was weird. But now we're good. Because and you know what? When you think about the High Priestess, the moon, that's life. When I talk about the High Priestess sometimes, because sun sign of Cancer, the moon's my ruler, it's nothing but cycles. Life will just throw you through the ringer. But it's all to have. It can be fun. When you find a way to make it fun. When you're like, okay, all right, I guess it's a perfectly good time for a Tower moment, huh? Just like little things just to switch up that narrative, to kind of get you out of that worry, that just all of those low vibrations. The more you look towards that sun and chase after that sun, the more sunlight is going to keep shining on you, Scorpio. And listen, that's not to say that you're not going to feel feel like hit a pretty decent challenge along the way. Because life likes to throw curveballs at sometimes, but Just like Mars came up here in reverse, it's nothing that you can't handle. You can raise your vibration. This stuff is not trying to lower you. This is strengthening you, Scorpio. And then when you get through this, you can show others, Scorpio, because this is what a brilliant example of leading by example. Because that's how King of Wands gets to work. He takes these lessons from these situations and applies them and turns them into abundance, turns them into the sun. And that's great, Scorpio, because I feel like that type of example is definitely what we're going to need going forward. So, keep it up and don't doubt yourself for a second that you can't get through anything that life has to throw at you. So I like that. Nice little turn here. So, it was a beautiful story, Scorpio. So, thank you for that. And you know what? Give it a thumbs up. Let's get the morale going. Let's tell Scorpio that absolutely you can get through this stuff, and share this. If you know someone who's might be going through something, maybe they're telling themselves they don't have the skills to, or the whatever this is, might not feel like they can get through this, but these golden cards, these are high vibratory cards, Scorpio. You're going to get some skills out of this. So, and tell your friend that too, Scorpio. I'm going back into your reading. And then have them both. If you haven't subscribed and your friend, have them both subscribe and then hit that bell button to get notified when I have these videos each week. And then I'm on this meditation app, Insight Timer. And I created a group on there called Zodiacs Raising the Vibration. And it's just a space, how perfect, to assuage fears and things. I put positive affirmations. Is meant to, for you too, Scorpio, drop affirmations, encouraging messages, uplifting things, talk about your journey, anything along those lines. So what a wonderful thing to really just write a book, Scorpio. That'd be great too. How you, from black widows to grapes. Or something along those lines. But that's what the group's about. And, as it grows, definitely the High Priestess and I are getting some meditations figured. I'm actually talking with a few cards here, trying to get some stuff figured out. So check that out, Scorpio, and all that information's in the description box. And then lastly, speaking of our ruler here, if you have any Cancer in your placement, Sun, Moon, Rising, wherever, come on over to my other channel, The Chariot Friends. I do videos Monday through Friday there. We absolutely discuss lunar shenanigans. It's a good old time. And all that housekeeping down in the description box below. But let me get your surprise card here, Scorpio, so I can get you out of here. Justice. And that's what I'm talking about. And while we're talking about the Justice, I'm going to shuffle for your other Oracle card. But just thinking with the Justice card. The Justice card is like a card of this is Libra's card, and this card is a cause and effect. And I feel like if we have people who have been lowering your vibration, I get to where we may want to, I don't know. I don't want to say that you're thinking about revenge or want to get back at them or anything along those lines, but I feel like that we don't need to do anything extra for them to get justice if we're wondering about that. Maybe someone did us dirty, or maybe we know something, something along those lines. Know that the universe will balance the scales, Scorpio, okay? Just something just on that level here. Look at that. You got the Align card in reverse here. The universe is going to balance things out, so you don't have to worry about balancing things out. Worry about your energy. If we make adjustments for you and this, these black widows and things, that'll get worked out. But I also was talking about that cause and effect. When we feel out of alignment, when just haven't been feeling great, when we focus on that growth, focus on finding ways to get out of this funk and, whatever this looks like or may look like in the future, Scorpio, because, black widows happen, worry beats happen, tower moments happen. That's just the cycle of life. But it gets easier every time we do it, and it's just like, okay, what's causing this, and what's this effect? How do I keep this thing going? How do I get back in alignment? And remember that if you've done it once, Scorpio, which you have, so if you're here watching this video, you've totally done it once, you can do it again, Scorpio. So I like that. Let's get back in harmony. So I'm gonna leave that there. You stay safe out there, Scorpio, and just raise your vibration, really focus on, what better thing to focus on during your lunar eclipse? This lunar eclipse is for your energy. It's granted, of course, it's going to affect everyone, but you're going to feel it the most, it being in your sign. Let's figure out some things we can let go. Let's figure out some tools that we can learn, and let's go get that abundance. Ace of Cups, Ace of Pentacles, sunshine, baby. I'm with it. And I will catch you on the next one. Later.